We're going to talk about reflections of images that are not on the coordinate plane. So when we do reflections that are not on the coordinate plane, we have to use our compass and straight edge. So here we have triangle ABC and its image A prime, B prime, C prime. You can see it's a mirror image. It's folded over our line of reflection, or if you were to fold this over line DE, the two sides would match. So now I have trouble using a straight edge on this format, but you should use a straight edge and connect A to D prime, B to B prime, and C to C prime. And yeah, I'm just going to kind of do this. But you should use a straight edge. If I connect these using a straight edge, and then take your compass and make some measurements. If you measure from A to the line of reflection and A prime to the line of reflection, just looking at that, think about what that relationship might be. Same with C to the line and C prime to the line, B to the line and B prime to the line. If you look at that, you should see that these distances are equal to one another. So they are all equal. And I'm talking about the distance from A, so the pre-image to the line of reflection, and the image to the line of reflection. They are all equal. So I can put these markings in here to denote that the two sides are the same measure. And then if you look, and this is, if you take a look at what the angle would be between the line of reflection and these lines. Now, again, I was supposed to use a straight edge here. It looks like these are going to be 90-degree angles, and in fact that is true, that the line of reflection is always going to be perpendicular to the segment that connects an image to its pre-image. So when we ask what is the relationship between DE and each of the segments that were drawn, well, think about what we call the segment that's perpendicular to a line and also cuts those lines in half. And hopefully you will realize that DE, line segment DE, is the perpendicular bisector of all of those lines connecting. So perpendicular bisector of the segments connecting an image to its pre-image. Okay, so the line of reflection, when you're reflecting over a line, that line of reflection is the perpendicular bisector of the segments that connect an image over here to its pre-image. So we're going to highlight this once again. We now know that the line of reflection, when I'm reflecting over a line, that's the perpendicular bisector of the segments connecting the pre-image to the image. Now that we know that, we can construct the line of reflection, because what construction would you use when you think about it? Why, it has to be the perpendicular bisector. So here are the steps to do that, and you can take your compass and a straight edge and do this in your notes. For my notes for this video, I can't really use a compass, so I'm going to have to wing it a little bit, or we will finish it in class. So you connect any point to its image point. That means I'm going to connect B to B prime, or A to A prime, or C to C prime. C to C prime is a little bit small, so I don't think I'm going to use that one. I'm going to try to connect B to B prime. Again, it's tough for me to use a straight edge on this video, so I'm just going to, ooh, and that's a really fat line. I'm going to undo that because that bothers me. I'm going to make my line thinner. Whoops. We'll do that again and make my line thinner, and now it's going to work. I'm going to connect B to B prime. And your line will be straighter than mine. And then what you will do is construct the perpendicular bisector of this segment. So remember, that's where you put compass at B prime, and your radius length is going to be more than halfway, so you will draw an arc in here, and then compass at B, same radius length, you'll draw your other arc. So mine will not look pretty here because I don't have a compass that I can use on this thing, but you're roughly going to do that. And then you construct the perpendicular bisector of that segment. So I'm going to get rid of those lines because those are just going to be ugly. You will construct the perpendicular bisector, and that is the line of reflection. So again, you'll do this neater than me, but the line of reflection is going to be that perpendicular bisector. So it's going to cut that segment in half, and it's going to end up being at right angles to that segment. Looks much nicer when you use a compass. So the perpendicular bisector, one more time, that is the line of reflection. Each point and its image point are equidistant from that line. So any pair of points, you can select any pair of points from an image to its pre-image, and you can construct the perpendicular bisector, and they will all line up with this one. So again, you're going to practice constructing the line of reflection, and it's an easy construction. If you remember, all we have to do is connect any of these segments, an image to its pre-image, and construct the perpendicular bisector. So it doesn't matter which ones you use. I would probably maybe choose E because it's the longest, and you don't even necessarily have to draw this line, but you are constructing the perpendicular bisector of that line. And if you do that, you're going to find out that it's going to be the same as the perpendicular bisector of AA prime and DD prime and anything else where you connect an image to its pre-image. So you are going to take your compass and finish this up, and I will check it in class tomorrow. And you'll do the same thing with this image. The M, even though I don't have points labeled, we have to remember that this is a reflection. It looks like a rotation, but if you see, my M is a little bit, the length of this guy is a little bit more than this guy over here. So a reflected image means the closest points are going to be the image and its pre-image. So again, pick two corresponding points, and I did not draw that very well, and you are going to construct a perpendicular bisector between those points. So in this case, that if you construct the perpendicular bisector of that segment, it'll be the same as the perpendicular bisector of that segment. So you take your compass and you do these constructions. And then in class, I'm going to show you how to reflect an image over its line of reflection. Here we just created the line of reflection, or you're going to recreate it when you do the perpendicular bisector. In class, we're going to learn how to take an image that already has, so let's say I draw this guy, and I already have my line of reflection, which would be this guy. And I'm going to take that image with a compass and a straight edge, and I'm going to learn how to reflect it over this line without using the grid or without using a rule. So that's what we're going to do in class. But for now, you finish up these lines of reflections by drawing the perpendicular bisector.